Okay, we're going to talk about factors and how to find all the factors for a given number. First, we need to review what a factor is. Factors are numbers that are multiplied to make a product. An example of that is in this equation here, 2 times 3. 2 and 3 are factors. And when you multiply those factors together, they equal the product 6. Remember, a product is the answer to a multiplication equation. So what we're going to talk about now is how to factorize, how to find all the factors for a given number. And there are two tools that you need to use to help you find the factors for a number. First is a t-chart, and the second is the guess and check strategy that we've talked about in class. So I'm going to start with my t-chart, which is simply just a big letter T. And let's say I want to find all the factors for the number 25. I'm going to write 25 on the top of my t-chart. And now I'm going to use what I know about numbers and my multiplication tables, along with the guess and check strategy, to help me find all the factors for 25. Well, the first thing I know is that every number has at least 2 factors. Every number has 1 and itself as factors, right? 1 times 25 equals 25. And that's going to be true for every single number from here to infinity. So we got 1 and 25. Now I'm going to go through, I'm going to do guess and check. And I'm literally going to go one number at a time until I've found all of them. Not going to take as long as you think. Watch. I'm going to start with 2. And before I even start with 2, I'm going to say, hey, wait a second. 25 is an odd number. And then I'm going to remember, odd numbers never have 2 as a factor. There is not one odd number that will ever have 2 as a factor. So 2 is not a factor. So now I'm going to plug in 3. So I'm going to think about 3. Okay. Well, I'm going to use my multiplication facts to remember what I can about 3's. Let's see. I know 3 times 8 is 24. And the next 3 times 9, is 27. Well, neither of those is 25, so 3 is not a factor of 25. Do the same thing with 4. What do I know about 4? What comes close? Let's see. I know 4 times 5. That's a nice round one. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. And 4 times 7 is 28. None of those are 25. I've gone below 25 and I've gone above 25, and 4 is not a factor of 25, so I'm not going to use 4. Now I'm going to think about 5. Does 5 times anything equal 25? Oh, sure it does. 5 times 5 equals 25. And now if you look at that, we've done what I call rounding the corner. We've actually rounded the corner from one side of the factors to the other because this repeats itself. Since it repeats itself, I'm going to cross it off because I don't want to double count it and say 5 is a factor twice, because 5 is just a factor. It's one factor. And that's it. I'm done. I've got 25. I've got all my factors. So all the factors for 25, if I write them out in the form that we should, are 1, 5, and 25. There we go. We factorized. Let's take a look with one more. Whoops. We're going to use the same method that we used before. We're going to use the t-chart, and we're going to use guess and check, and we're going to find all the factors for the number 12. Now remember, every number has 1 in itself as a factor, so I can throw 1 and 12 down there as my first 2 factors. Is 12 an odd or an even number? It's an even number, so we know 2 is going to be a factor. Okay? 2 times what equals 12? This is where I start to guess and check. 2 times 5 equals 10. 2 times 6 equals 12. Hey, there it is right there. 2 and 6 is the other factor pair, other part of that factor pair. Now I got to ask myself 3. Does 3 times anything equal 12? Well, I know 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 equals 9. And 3 times 4 equals 12. Hey, there it goes again. So now we have 3 and 4. And if you've looked at that, we've actually rounded the corner again. Because if I go again and ask myself 4, well, I'm just going to find 4 times 3. And then if I ask myself about 5, I'm going to find 5 doesn't have anything. 6 times 2, and then the next one is 12 times 1. I've found all the factors. So remember, once you round this corner right here, you can stop and just make your list. Here are all the factors of 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And there you go. You have factorized.